Hello, hello. Hey, Zach. How's it
What's up?
going?
How's it going? Long time no see.
Long time no see. All right, it's Friday. It's time for our download.
It is
How's your week been?
busy. It's been very, very busy. The community team and I have been constantly trying to improve the server, and I feel like it's getting to a point where people are getting the information better. We're trying to do new things, and you'll see some new things this next week. Like how you can digest all of this information. We'll be in a new format. As well as our Twitter Spaces. We're working on how to, if you can't attend those, how to get that audio, turn it into a transcript, and summarize it, so you don't feel like you miss anything. So, but that's been good. And then with some external contacts, been talking to how we can make us all look swagged out into the new project. A little hint, hint, nudge, nudge of what I'm working on the side, and a new program coming up soon, the Champions program. It's the first time I'll say that out loud, and there'll be a lot more about that here in the near future. But we have one thing to cover before that, and that's boosters, and I think that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, it's going to be dominated by that. I'm super excited to be here today. But I also want to point out a couple of things before we get started. First of all, for all the other YouTubers and to salute our service folks, I wore my red shirt. So there's that. And this is our first download doing it directly without the support of the awesome YouTubers team. So Chris and the others. So Chris, you're here. Do you want to pop in momentarily and just say hi for the first time here on our feed? There you
Yes.
are.
Yes.
How's it going?
Here I am. I'm doing good.
The king has returned.
So
Well-
excited about you know what? I think that I just made a mistake, and the link for this, I didn't send it to the other YouTubers. I think they're going to be like, hey, where do we go to get on? So I'll send it off to them in a minute and get it to them. But appreciate wearing the red. That's awesome. Appreciate it. So
I didn't get that memo. So
it's just one of those things. I kind of try to do it. I got so many.
would have been nice.
Well, I got military family and friends, and I was in the military and everything like that. It's just
What did you serve in?
Air Force.
Okay, I was an Army guy.
Yeah. So yeah, you should know about Red, where
Sure.
remember everyone deployed. So
I thank you both for your service.
Hey, thanks for paying your taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right,
So-
guys, let's get this show on the road here. Let's get going. So
Yeah.
thanks again, Chris, for all the support you've provided in all this time. And let's see how this goes. This is our first time on our own stream, but I'm glad you're backstage to help us out as needed.
Yep. I'm here
So,
for you.
I'm a holler away as well.
Super. All right, so let me get my screen here on the stage. Boom, there we are. Fantastic. Let's get going. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of the Vitruveo DAOnload. It's October 27, 2023. I'm Nick Kalyani, the project lead, and I'm super, super, super excited to be here today because it's been 90 days, since we started this journey together. And along the way, we've provided you a lot of updates, a lot of communication, etc. But ultimately, it comes down to results. And let me just start off this session with a bang here. So let's go. Here we go. I am very, very, very excited and pleased to report that Vitruveo's mainnet release candidate 1 is active and running. And we have two validator nodes running. I'm going to take you to the Explorer right now. Oh, this is the wrong Explorer. Let me get to the right one. Explorer.vitruveo.xyz. Let's zoom in a little bit. Now you'll see that there are no transactions here. That's because we are being very mindful to only have absolutely the official, if you will, transactions at this period right now. But you can see that we are already at block 33,604, and it's one block every 5 seconds. So you can see that it's been going a while. So our goal was in the week of October 22nd to spin up mainnet release candidate 1. And I am very, very happy that it's up. And I really want to thank Prabhu, our technology council lead, and his team who have been working tirelessly to make this happen. It is not a trivial feat, and I'm very grateful to them. So there's going to be a series of sort of steps that occur here in the next 30 days. And I'm going to talk about those in a little bit. But what I wanted to do was to kind of show you um, a wallet that I'm using called Token Pocket. I use Token Pocket because it has a feature called a read-only wallet, where you can just put in any address you want, and you can see what transactions, etc., are going on here. So let's first go into my settings here and go to networks. And you can see that I have already added a setting here for Vitruveo mainnet. It's pretty straightforward, and we'll publish this so it's easy to do. And actually, we'll have a button where you can just add this on. But our rpc.vitruveo.xyz is our RPC URL, and our official chain ID that we selected was 1490. If you're wondering what is specific or special about that, well, that is the year in which Da Vinci created the Vitruvian Man. And we thought it would be good to pay homage to that, because we are Vitruveo. We are based upon that concept and that artwork. And so here it is. And then, of course, the symbol, VTRU, and our Explorer is right there. So with that, what happens is it becomes super simple for us to add different watch wallets. So I have one here. So this wallet here, this account here is basically the main account through which all the Nexus NFTs will be funded. So that's 24 million Vitrus that'll be distributed among all the holders. So what we'll be doing is we'll be publishing all the different wallet addresses so you can look at them. And in the course of my presentation, I'm also going to tell you exactly what is going to happen with those wallets. So we are super mindful to not have any transactions on there that don't belong there. So but this is it, guys. We are here finally. So everything we do now, of course, we'll continue to test on testnet, etc. We'll continue to have that. We'll also continue to have a devnet, but the journey, the road to mainnet has now officially begun. We've got ourselves a mainnet, and everything is coming together very, very nicely. And I'm excited. And you know what? I have to say, thank you. Thank you for the 6,000 plus people who are in our Discord here, who are supporters, who believe, believing is a theme that I'm going to carry through the rest of this conversation here today. But we are there, and I'm grateful to all of you. All right. So with that out of the way, that was a big news. Let's get through the rest of our update, and I have a lot of information to share with you today. All right, so for our agenda here, we've got our council updates as usual. We've got a financial update. We have our phases. We have 3 phases. Those are not going away. We are just on phase 1 yet. There's more to do. So we'll talk about the phase 1 readiness. We'll talk about everything that's going to happen now that we have Mainnet Rc1 up. What exactly is going to happen? I want to spend a lot of time, as Zach and I were talking about earlier today, about boosters. I want to answer every question and clear every doubt you may have about it. Want to talk about booster incentives, and really also talk about who should be buying, if they want to buy, of course. And then we'll do community questions and answers as usual. So let's get rocking. Here we go. So the community updates, the first one we have is from the Marketing Council. So they've started a campaign called Know Your Booster. You're probably seeing these promos all over on Twitter, on Insta, on TikTok, etc., on LinkedIn, etc. There has been some flash giveaways in order to increase our social media presence, and a winner was already selected. I hope that all of you who are in Discord will take a moment to go hit our Twitter and follow us if you aren't already there. I mean, that would be a huge boost to us if our Twitter following, our Instagram following, our LinkedIn following was increased, because that would give us more visibility and more reach. So please go follow us on social media. You can find all the links on the website. We're starting to share the Vitruveo story. We want to begin our marketing to the wider world that is not yet in crypto. So we've got a couple of proposals from PR companies. You have to understand that there's a lot of questions about, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? The answer is, there is an order to things here strategically. when you have limited resources, you have to prioritize. We all know that, right? We can't just do everything we want at the same time. And so a lot of these things that need to get done, when it's their turn, you will see us essentially execute on that with passion, with determination, and at a scale that was previously kind of not there. So now that we are getting some of the technology pieces in place, it's time for us to ramp up our marketing, ramp up our creator onboarding, ramp up community building, etc. So all of it is going to happen. It's going to happen, but it's in a certain order. I showed you last week our gallery of the booster artworks. It's still up there if you'd like to go look at it on cyber.io. Please check out our gallery. And at the end of this presentation, there'll be a link to this deck. You'll be able to click through to it. We are also starting to provide more information to the general public about booster sales, and that's going to increase significantly. The booster website is mostly ready. I'm going to share with you where it is right now. I say mostly because there's still a few tweaks we are making on it, etc. But essentially, we are going to link to the app to actually buy, etc. But all the content is starting to take place very, very nicely, and we'll get this activated. So the website is active currently, but we are making an effort not to share it with a lot of people other than our internal community at the moment, because there's a few links that are not yet activated, and we want the whole experience to be there. So, but at least here, you now have all the information in ready to use, ready to consume, and understand. So everything about boosters, super boosters, what are all the different offers that are there, our referral program. Really, it's this referral program that is the main link that we want to get going. So it is part of the application for buying, and so those come as one unit. And so within the next, I would say, 24, maybe 30 hours or so, we'll have that activated. You'll see lots of announcements about that. You can go and get your referral link, and then you can start using it. We will make sure the referral link is available well before the 9 a.m. October 30th timeframe when the sale is supposed to begin. We will give you ample opportunity to get that link and share it with folks. And so we're also on here. We have all the artworks that are present there. So yeah, the other thing the reason why we are not promoting the website yet is it's because it works great on desktop, but it's not yet mobile ready. So we are working on that, on the responsive design aspect of it. It's coming together really well. Again, within the next 24, 30, it should be 30 hours rather. It should be ready to go. All right. So that's that on the Marketing Council. Next is Ecosystem Council. So as Zach was alluding to earlier, there's a new moderation system that's in testing, and we'll be scoping out a bunch of Web3 features. Because we are a new protocol, a lot of the technologies out there don't necessarily support us, and so we'll be building some of our own tools there. Also, the Ecosystem Council, in its purview of extending our ecosystem, has been meeting with potential partners and vetting potential vendors for some of the things that we'll need to deliver, like swag, etc. And as Zach said, the Champions program, which is intended to get you, the members of the community, more integrated, more excited, and more participation in the community, and reward those who demonstrate leadership and community buildings, etc. Next, let's go with our financial update. As you know, we basically used the funds we had in order to get to this milestone, and the next milestone, which is getting our boosters going, is going to help us get a longer runway. So we had no spending in the prior week, so there's nothing to report here. Let's go on to the next one, which is phase 1 readiness. So now this is where there's going to be a lot of detail I'm going to be sharing with you. So let's go. So as you know, we have 3 phases. We are in phase 1 right now. Phase 2 and phase 3 are imminent, and you can expect more of the same with each phase. I'm going to provide you a detailed roadmap of exactly what we're going to do, and week by week, we're going to check off boxes and get things done and get the results that we're looking for. So, all right. So we have many more green check marks here. The ones that are still gray, there's 2 really important ones, but the others are kind of we have done some work on them, but we are not yet happy with it, and so we are not calling it a green check yet. But things like the investor deck, etc., are all done. I shared the deck with you the other day in Discord. You can look in the updates, and you can find it there. And pretty much the main thing here is that we are now getting closer to being 100% ready for our booster sale, which kicks off on Monday. So that's the update here. Let's dive into a little more detail on mainnet, because that's really where all the action is. So here we go. So as you can see, this is a slide I presented last time for the first time to kind of give you an idea of what's really happening in the next sort of 30 to 45 days. So the first thing here, the update is that Mainnet Rc1 is active. It was scheduled to be active the week of October 27, and it is the week of October 22nd. It's active. All right. We are primed to have a booster sale on October 30th. So that's all coming together. And now during that period, what's going to happen is we're going to start having your accounts, the accounts from the holders and the accounts from the validators available on mainnet in an app for you to review and merge your accounts. So you can view your accounts, and various people at various times have asked, hey, can I merge my wallets, or can I move, or my wallet got hacked, etc. What do I do, etc. So we want to address that. And yes, I do not want to forget that we still have 122 BTC users who we absolutely need to finalize, and our internal goal for that is November 15th. So that's documented here. It's going to happen. So we basically need to make sure that all of you have an ability to look at what's going to be the final wallet you use and the tokens, the Vitru in it, and confirm that, because come December 1, you're going to get a Nexus NFT token airdrop, and that's going to be the final thing there. So after that, we are not able to do any more Nexus airdrops. So if everything is not resolved on the day before December 1, probably even maybe a little bit sooner than that, we will not be able to affect any changes after that. The Nexus NFTs are a one-time thing because they control the governance of the DAO, they control revenue share, they control everything. It's intended only for the current holders. So whether you're an OG backer who's been merged into the holders, etc., all of those, right? You're going to get a Nexus NFT, and that is it. No one in the future is ever going to get a Nexus NFT. It's a firm number, and it cannot be changed. So in the next 30 days, we're going to have the booster sale and all the activities around it going on and on. And also, we are going to finalize all these accounts. And then come December 1, we will do the Nexus drop. We'll do the validator drop. And we will have a dashboard for you where you can then essentially start looking at your account and doing things like boosting your account with any boosters you purchased. You can do any kind of token claims, etc., that you want to do from a perks pool. You can transfer your tokens. You can transfer your NFTs, etc. So all the things that you would expect will be available to you starting December 1st. But so the next 30 days are very critical for us as we undertake a lot of mainnet activities. So let's look at what exactly that means. So let me switch to the next slide here. All right. So on this slide, I put Mainnet Rc1 Trustlessness. So right now, we have two validators. This is run by the protocol team, the whole DAO team that we have here. We fully understand that it is not to be trusted. Why? Because it's just us, right? We could do anything we want. And one of the reasons I'm being very careful about sort of having transactions on mainnet, etc., is we want you to see everything. We want you to be able to monitor everything, look at everything, and ensure that everything is being done exactly as it should be done, and that there's no some wonky transaction or something like that. So here's how it's going to work, right? So right now we've got two validators, and there are Vitru in standard accounts. And I said I would share those accounts with you. So those accounts, if you recollect our cap table, there are categories there, right? There are categories for Nexus, there's categories for partners, there's categories for perks, team, etc. So these accounts correspond to all of those. Now, when we start the booster sale, we're going to have funds come in. We don't want those funds to be in any wallet that is controlled by one individual. So those funds are going to flow into two multi-sigs, one on Ethereum and one on BSC. And all the current signers, there's five signers, they will be retained. Next thing we'll do in the next 30 days is we're going to take those Vitru that are in the standard accounts and transfer them into vesting and multi-sig contracts. We don't want a situation where there are any tokens available that are sort of, if you will, belonging to the DAO that are in any single account. They're either in a contract, so they play by those rules, or they are in a multi-sig, so they play by those rules. That's how it's going to be. So we're going to be transferring those over the next 30 days. And as we do each one, we'll let you know, and you can go check it out. The funds, the booster funds will stay. You will see a few transactions. Those transactions are for a couple of things. One is to pay the liabilities that we currently have. We have a few liabilities from the fact that we didn't have enough funds for the latter part of this month. And we will also have liabilities in the month of November as we go through the regular payroll and things like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. But other than that, I don't expect any other transactions to occur on those multi-sigs. Now, in this period, I also want to have a community sort of voting in order to get the 2 additional community members on. So the Senate, as you've seen in the prior presentations, consists of the 5 council leads plus 4 community members, right? So we have the 5 council leads now. We've got 2 community members right now, the validator team lead, Baron, and Greek representing the YouTubers. But we need to have 2 more community members. So that constitutes the full Senate of 9 members, and we are going to have a 7 of 9 multi-sig there. So my goal is in the next 30 days is to get those 2 additional community members on so that we can have a working Senate. The working Senate is essential because without the working Senate, our DAO governance rules that we all agreed on require sign-off authority from the Senate on a lot of things. And so the first thing we want to do is get that Senate in place and start having those meetings, etc. So also what we will do post-December is start getting external validators on. So there's a validators team now, and they are working on an onboarding process for the validators. What's really, really important to understand, and I cannot emphasize this enough, is that until December 1, we have a protocol team and we have 2 validators on the Vitruveo blockchain. So you might consider it untrusted. You might consider it not trusted because you can only trust it as much as you trust me or Prabhu or others on there, right? What we want to do is by December 1, essentially present to you a blockchain with all contracts and all accounts as they should be ready to go. And then we tell the validators team and all the validators, we have 500 of them, please review this. And if it's accurate and you agree with it, then sign on your validator and come on and extend the blockchain. So then we start having a real trustless, decentralized, and secure blockchain because others besides just the protocol team will also be signing blocks, sealing blocks on the blockchain. So this is an important thing to understand, this transition here. We're basically saying that over the next 30 days, we are going to finalize all the things that should be on mainnet. Then we are going to give a chance for the validators to review all of that. And if there's any discrepancies, any problems, etc., it's on us to fix those before we expect any of them to put their sign on it and say that, yes, I agree with this blockchain data and I'm willing to join this blockchain network and secure it. So this is an important stage. So come the month of December, 2 very important things are going to happen. One is the validators are going to start making this into a real trustless blockchain. And two, we will have the full Senate on here so that 100% of the funds that are collected through the booster sale are under a 7 of 9 authority. Prior to that, they are under a 4 of 6 signing multi-sig. So at no point are the funds from the boosters going to be in an open kind of wallet where only one person has the key. That is not a situation that will ever be present. All right. Okay. So this is important because blockchain is all about trustlessness. We don't want you to have to trust anybody. You basically use the blockchain for that. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about boosters. First, a sip of chai. All right. So I've presented here a table that you've probably seen before. This table represents the entire sort of bird's eye view of boosters and super boosters. I understand that this is a bit opaque and maybe hard to digest for people, but let me review it real quick, and then I have more slides that'll help you understand it better. The basic thing communicated in this table is that there is one booster and 6 types of super boosters. The variation on them is primarily by price. So a booster is $150, and you get 100 Vitru coins with it, and there's no lock, and it vests over 18 months using the exact same vesting schedule that everyone else has for the holders. And a booster's purpose, the reason a booster exists, in addition to funding the protocol's ongoing development, is to accelerate your boosting. So each booster gives you a 0.1% acceleration. And there are more perks and there's more revenue share. I'm going to talk about that in more detail, so we'll skip that for right this moment. The 6 super boosters, they are in varying in price. They increase from 25,000 all the way to 250,000. And what you also get is a discount. You get a discount on the price of Vitru, which means you get more tokens than you would have gotten if you had just bought the same number of boosters multiplied. The super boosters are intended for investors who are interested in the token primarily, and so we expect them to hold. So they will be locked for 8 months, and then they would the vesting is over 15 months. So they also, if they happen to have existing holding, the super booster also does vesting acceleration. So now let's go through the whole set of boosters here. Give me one moment here. Seeing a little. All right. So first of all, let's understand what a booster NFT is. I know a lot of you are new to NFTs. So you're used to having tokens, right? A token, a fungible token, is not that different from a non-fungible token. The primary difference between them is all sort of ERC20 type tokens are fungible. So you can swap out 2 and it's the same. The difference with an NFT is it's non-fungible, which means each one is unique. So your NFT, your booster NFT or super booster NFT is actually a voucher. That's a good way to think about it. A voucher means, it's good for something, but until it's used, it's a value claim. So it's not unlocked until you actually put it to use. So when you use a booster, we call that boosting, right? Now here's 2 very important things. I'm going to repeat them 2 times. You can buy a booster with any wallet. Any wallet. You can use a booster to boost any wallet. All right? Again, no limit, no constraint. Buy a booster with any wallet you wish. And you can also boost any wallet you wish. There are no limits at all. All right? I get this question again and again and again. And I just want to be clear. It's any and any. All right? And you're going to see how in just a moment. All right. Let's continue here. All right. Now, how do you buy a booster? So we're going to have you saw the site, and there is, we'll have the URL. So this is Vitruveo.xyz/boosters, but we'll have a link to it from the main website also. But there's a buy boosters button. And when you go to that button, it's going to take you to our buying page. Now that buying page has options for you to buy boosters and buy super boosters. You can specify how many you want to buy, and then you can choose which network you want, whether you want to do it on Ethereum or you want to do it on BSC. So those are the two chains that we support right now for funding the purchase of the booster, right? So like I said, it can be any wallet you wish. If it's on Ethereum, it's on Ethereum. And there you should have one of these two cryptocurrencies in the wallet to fund the purchase of the booster or super booster, USDC or USDT. That's it. You also need a little bit of ETH in there to pay the gas for the transaction, but the primary funding for the purchase of the booster is USDC or USDT if you're choosing Ethereum. If you are choosing the BSC, the Binance Smart Chain Network, then the two cryptocurrencies we support are BUSD or USDT. So again, Ethereum, USDC, USDT, and Binance Smart Chain, BUSD or USDT. These are all stable coins, and it makes it super easy. If the price says 150, then you need 150 of them in order to complete the transaction. So on just slightly before October 30th, we'll have the page up, but the actual buy buttons will not be enabled until 9 a.m. Eastern time on October 30th. Now, the limit for the boosters is 20,000. So that's the cap, a hard cap on the boosters. But the total cap for the overall booster sale, because there's not just boosters, there's super boosters also, there's bonuses, etc., is 7.5 million Vitru. So that's how much the allocation is for the overall token sale, factoring in bonuses and other things that are going to occur. Now, what happens when you buy a booster? Well, when you buy a booster, it's essentially going to first ask you to approve the tokens, the use of those tokens. And next, it's going to ask you to sign a transaction to actually buy the boosters you want. When that transaction is completed, what happens is on the back end, we have a server application that runs, and it generates your booster NFT, and it drops it into the exact same address account, but on Vitruveo mainnet, all right? So we are talking about, in this transaction, there's going to be two networks involved, either Ethereum or BSC, one of those, whatever you choose, and Vitruveo mainnet. I have always steadfastly maintained that we will not have a booster sale until we can deliver those boosters to you on our own mainnet. We've crossed that threshold now. Vitruveo mainnet is live. The booster contract will be on there, and your boosters will be delivered. I said within 24 hours, but that's really to deal with any queues, etc., that come up. Our goal is to actually get that settled very quickly in minutes. But if something, if there's a lot of purchases all at once, that queue could get backed up a little bit. And that's why we said within 24 hours. So what will happen then? How will you be able to check if your account has a booster or not? Well, we don't have a nice sort of page yet where you can check, but if you put your address into Explorer on explorer.vitruveo.xyz, you will see that transaction, and you'll be able to see that NFT is in your account. Now, certain wallets, I think MetaMask is one of them, do show you NFTs already if they are ERC721 compatible, which this one is. And so you might be able to do that. If you have a wallet that supports NFTs, you'll be able to go see that. We will very quickly get a page up where you can easily go and look at it. But it is Web3, right? You don't have to wait for us to do this. You can go look on Explorer. In fact, if someone in the community is a developer and wants to spin up their own app to show people these, they're welcome to do that. It's all open and all transparent. It's Web3, so anyone can do that. You don't have to rely on the protocol team to do something that's just a decentralized application. But this is the workflow. It's actually very, very simple. It might sound complicated because we're dealing with two networks, but it's trivially simple because you don't have to do anything with the Vitruveo part. You just go to this dApp and you do your Ethereum transaction or your BSC transaction, buy the boosters, and you're done. They'll show up in your account. Now, let's talk about what happens after that. So the first thing I want to talk about is what that NFT represents, right? So if you buy one booster, that's USD 150, what does it have? Well, it gives you a claim of 100 Vitru tokens. Why is it a claim? Remember I told you the booster NFT is a voucher. It is not actually tokens. It's not actually anything. It's a voucher. You have to actually use it. You have to boost with it in order to activate things. All right. So it's got a claim there for 100 Vitrus. It will boost your vesting by 0.10%. The booster tokens that you will claim, the 100 tokens themselves, have the same vesting duration as everything else, 18 months. You're going to have a perks pool share, a lifetime revenue share, and you're going to have Genesis artwork. So those are all the things that come with this one NFT. A good way to think of the NFT is it's a voucher that has utility and is also an art NFT at the same time. All right. Now, let's look at some of the things that are important here. The first 1,000 buys, transactions with 7 or more get into an additional 5% revenue share pool. And I'll go into more detail on that. But so that's essentially for the first 1,000. Now, one of the things that's very important in this blockchain and the way we are running it under my leadership is there are no gimmicks here. So if you want to buy more than 10, 15, etc., more than 7 rather, you don't have to split up transactions or anything like that. It doesn't benefit you at all. As long as you have 7 or more in a transaction, all of those boosters will be used to factor in your portion of the revenue share. So don't need to resort to any gimmicks or anything. Buy whatever boosters you want in a single transaction. I believe the UI is set up to support up to 100. So you can safely buy whatever you need and it'll be okay. The first 250 boosters get a free Vitruveo Genesis sneaker. Now, we did cap that. So if someone, the first 1,000 have 7, etc., right? So only 3 of those will count for the sneakers. So you're not going to get more than 3 sneakers per wallet. So there's that. We have some goal milestones. So if we can get to 2 million, everyone gets a 5% bonus. With 3 million, everyone gets a 10% bonus. 4 million, 15%. And the best case scenario is if we can achieve $5 million in sales, everyone gets a 20% bonus. And all those Vitrus come from that single pool of 7.5 million that is allocated there. All right, so what do you do with your booster? Well, for 30 days, you can hold it or you can transfer it. You can do either of those things. So if you want to transfer it to someone, you can. We don't yet have a place where you can list it and sell it like a marketplace. We'll be working on that, but it won't be done within the next 30 days. So if you can make if you want to transfer your booster to someone else, you're more than welcome to do that. But on December 1, we will have our DAO dashboard, our NDAO dashboard. And at that time, you will be able to use your booster NFT to actually boost your account. Because remember, in order to boost this, to use the voucher, you need something to use it with. And those Nexus NFTs are not going to be airdropped to your account until December 1. So December 1 is the trigger for you to be able to use your booster NFT. It's also the trigger when you can actually access your tokens for the first time in any wallet you prefer, like whatever it is, MetaMask, etc., and be able to use them. So you're going to have tokens that are vesting and locked, and then you're going to have tokens that are rebased and free and open. So you're going to have both of those on December 1. So I mistakenly in a Discord comment said that the boosters expire in 12 months when I've always maintained it's 18 months. So I apologize for that. I just want to clarify and reinforce here again that the boosters, all of them, will expire on April 30th. I am not sure why anyone would have an unused booster, because the point of it is to use the voucher in order to get those tokens, etc. But if you didn't, for whatever reason, you have until April 30th, 2025 in order to do that. Okay, next. What is a boost, right? So as I mentioned, you can boost any wallet you wish. And there are two possibilities here. One, the wallet you are boosting has a Nexus NFT. So on December 1, it's an OG, and you got airdropped a Nexus NFT, which has your whole Vitru claim your token claim and all of that. Or the wallet you are wanting to boost does not have a Nexus NFT. That's fine. You can do that, right? Just remember, everyone who purchased future coins, in all the events that have happened previously, funding events, is going to be airdropped a Nexus NFT on December 1, 2023, right? So all your addresses are in the spreadsheet. And remember, by December 1, you will have gone through the merge and view process. So it's entirely possible that you selected a different wallet. You merged multiple things into a wallet and so on and so forth. So all of that will have happened prior to December 1, and then you can boost. So let's actually examine both these scenarios. So here is what exactly happens to the Nexus NFT for each boost, right? You can have many different boosts. So each one has the following. The first thing that happens is that the Vitru allocation in your Nexus NFT increases by 100 plus whatever the rebases were. All rebases here are from Genesis. They are from block number 1. So it doesn't matter which day, they're being airdropped on December 1, but it doesn't matter. You're already accumulating the block 1, which was a few days ago. So you're already accumulating those rebases. So you'll get those coins also. Every Nexus NFT has a vesting table of 18 months. And the boosting process will go into the vesting table and increase each one by 0.1%. Now, in the process, it's possible that if you do enough boosts, that the entire vesting process becomes less than 18 months. You've probably seen this in the spreadsheets, where if you have enough boosts, the vesting process becomes 15 months and 12 months and so on and so forth. And that's the whole point of that. Your booster perks units increase by 100, corresponding to the tokens. Your rev share units increase by 100, corresponding to the Vitru coins. And here's an important thing. I just want to make sure everyone understand this. If you have any referral bonus, that booster was purchased with a referral bonus, it will be rejected. Let that sink in. The reason it will be rejected is because referrals are only good for new buyers. A person who has a Nexus NFT is not a new buyer, and therefore the referral bonus is not applicable to them. So just keep that in mind when you do the referrals. It's got to be someone who's not already, the address is not already in the spreadsheet, because that's what we're using. All right. So this is nothing new. This is expected. I just want to make sure that people understand that the bonuses are not at the time of buying. They are at the time of boosting. So that's just to avoid gamification. I know that anytime there's a referral program of some kind, there are people who are inclined to try and game the system, etc. This is basically saying, sorry, you cannot game the system. It's pretty straightforward. When you try and boost it, you're going to get your 5% if and only if it's a new person. If it's a Nexus NFT, not going to happen. Next, the booster NFT is marked as used. It's boosted. It's done. The voucher has been redeemed, and it becomes an art NFT. So even after a booster is done, it still is valuable. It has the unique Genesis artwork. We have had 21 amazing artists in the community create the amazing artwork that you see behind here. That's going to be on your NFT. And the augmented reality aspect of it, there's going to be a little QR code there that you can scan with your camera on your mobile phone, and you can see the augmented reality content that's available for you. All right. Now, the next one is, if you don't have a Nexus NFT, what happens? First, a sip of chai. So what we're going to do is, for any persons who buy a booster NFT and then want to boost an account, they won't have a Nexus NFT, right? So they will be automatically airdropped a Maxim NFT. The difference between a Nexus and a Maxim NFT is that the Maxim NFT does not have any governance rights in the DAO. That's the primary difference. It has no, it comes with 0 tokens, right? The Nexus NFT is 100% going to have tokens you purchased with it, but the Maxim NFT is just airdropped and it has 0 tokens and it has no voting rights. But other than that, everything is the same. Everything that was in the booster, in the voucher, is transferred over into that Maxim NFT. So the coins, the vesting boost, the perks units, the rev share units, all of that. So Nexus, Maxim work the same way, except Maxim means it's a new user. And guess what? If it's a Maxim user, a Maxim NFT, we know it's a new user, and you do get your referral bonus of 5% to both the referrer and the referee. So that means it would be 105 Vitru coins for the Maxim, and then there would be 5 coins added to the referrer's account. Now, if they don't have any NFT in their account, then it will not work. So if you're referring someone, the presumption is that it's someone in the ecosystem here who is going to have a Nexus NFT. That might change. We might auto drop a Maxim NFT for them also, but it's highly unlikely. The referral program is supposed to be for our current community to reward them. And so if there is not a Nexus NFT in the referrer's account, that's going to be a problem. So make sure you're using one of the wallets that is going to be airdropped a Nexus NFT for referring. All right, then stacking. So you can boost a Nexus or Maxim NFT with as many boosters as you want, right? This is called stacking, and that works unlimited. But there are 2 constraints. Vesting, so the vesting component of it can only be boosted a maximum of 25 times. Everything else, no limit. Coins, perks, rev share, boost away as many as you want. Now, a super booster is special. When you boost an account, a Nexus NFT or a Maxim NFT with a super booster, what we'll do is check to see if that account is already boosted. And we'll warn you, because the super booster will replace all prior vesting. It'll basically nullify all the prior vesting. The super booster vesting is like 4%, etc. So it's pretty high, and you would want that. The behavior I'm talking about is something you would want. But if you have multiple super boosters, it'll choose the highest one, but only one super boost vesting boost can be usable on an NFT at any given time. So that's an important constraint there, but it won't apply to a majority of people, just the few folks who will buy super boosters. All right, so that's what the working model and the mechanism of the boosters was. Let's review the booster incentives one more time in a little more detail to make sure everyone's questions are answered. The first one is booster perks. So there is a perks pool for boosters, which will eventually have 1.9 million Vitru. Why do I say eventually? Well, the way the perks pool works is that 1.9 million Vitru, it's vesting over 24 months, daily over 24 months. And it sits in a vault until there is a rebase event. Keep in mind that the Vitruveo blockchain is a performance-driven rebase blockchain. Rebases only occur when the transaction goal is met for that particular day. So let's say, for the sake of explanation here, let's say you got 2 days without a rebase, but on day 3 you have a rebase. Well, what will happen is in the perks vault, 3 days of perks will have vested. Those will be transferred into the perks pool. The moment they are in the perks pool, they are eligible for anybody to claim their share of, right? The perks pool is always growing. It will keep growing. And over time, you will have the 1.9 million Vitrus. Now, what happens if you claim? You know, the Nexus NFT will have a claim feature where you can go claim your perks. And you can do that anytime. You can claim a portion of them. You don't have to claim all of it. But basically, if you think of your share as 100%, and let's say on day one, you go and claim 25%, now what happens is that you only have 75% of your allocation available in the pool. Any new perks tokens that come into the pool, that 25% of yours that you claimed is now distributed among all the people who are still in the pool and still holding. So if you want to claim your entire 1.9 million, your share of it, actually with rebasing, it's 9.5 million. It behooves you to stay and leave your claim there until the rebasing is complete. Once the rebasing is complete, the perks pool is not going to grow. And the vesting is going to be done well before the rebasing. So the perks pool, think of it as sort of a long-term benefit for you. If you want to, claim it, that's your prerogative. But I'm just saying that the intent of it is sort of a longer term. Now, if you're wondering how you calculate what your share is, it's pretty simple. At the end of this campaign of selling boosters, we're going to have a total number of booster Vitrus available. We add them all up. The boosters, the super boosters, we add up all those Vitrus. That's a total. So you divide how many booster Vitrus you have. Those are basically called perk units. And you divide that by the total, and that's your share. That gives you a percentage. That's your share of the perks pool. That's what you're going to get of that 1.9 million, eventually becoming almost 10 million. Right? Next is rev share. So whenever a buyer on the Vitruveo blockchain licenses any artwork created by anybody for any type of license, 2% of that goes into a smart contract. And that contract is essentially a rev share contract. And it immediately distributes that into 4 components. 30% of that goes to the DAO. 35% of it goes to the validators who run the network, and this is the way of having income. And boosters get 30%. So there's a pool of that's 30%. And we have a special early birds. So the first 1,000 with 7+ transactions get 5%. So that's how the revenue is split up. So if someone buys $1,000 artwork, the DAO fee on that will be $20. The DAO will get $6. Validators will get $7. Boosters will have $6 that's distributed among them pro rata using the formula I just told you. And early birds will get $1, and that'll be distributed pro rata also. So to give you an idea of where we are going with this, you may have already done your market research, but if you look at the big marketplaces on Ethereum, like OpenSea, Blur, Foundation, etc., you'll see that their sales in sort of the past year or so were in the range of 1.5 billion or so. Now it's year 5 or so of their existence, so it's not like we're going to get there right away. But if you think of your booster and think of rev share as a longer term sort of investment, then we certainly hope to get there by having millions of assets on the blockchain and having lots and lots of sales transactions. So our goal is to make sure that every artist has an income that's sustainable, so they can have a livelihood. And so our goal is to help them make money. And in the process, the protocol also captures some of that revenue through fees, 2%. And we allow all our supporters to also benefit from them. So in a sense, this would be one of the first sort of decentralized protocols where there's actually revenue, perpetual revenue, streaming into the people who contribute at this early stage in its infancy. It's a contract and it has no constraints. It is there forever. So if you have a booster, you're going to get part of that 30%, and it's not it's and if you're an early bird, you're also going to get part of that 5%. So you're going to have two sources of perpetual revenue there. All right. I just talked about the early bird special, but this slide here has a little example here. So it just shows you that it's transactional, right? So make sure that if you intend to be an early bird and benefit from that, that you have at least 7 boosters in the transaction. The first 1,000 of them get it. So in my example, Jack buys 7 boosters. That's transaction number 1. Boom, he's in for our early bird transaction. John buys 3 boosters. That didn't meet the minimum level of 7, so not an early bird. Jane buys 12. Boom, transaction number 2. So if Jack and Jane were the only 2, which they wouldn't be, there would be 1,000. They would each get a share. So now Jane is going to have a larger share than Jack because, as I mentioned earlier, there's no gimmicks or anything like that. It's straight up your number of boosters that determines your units of rev share, and you get that. Okay. Next is the sneakers. So a few weeks ago, I had Zhao on here of Diverge Sneakers, and we talked about how we are commissioning the artwork from 2 artists at this point. So we're going to have one artist who's quite well known here. We are working on finalizing the arrangement, and we're going to have an indigenous artist too from South America who's going to have one of the artworks. So there's going to be 2 designs of this unique Genesis sneaker, and the first 250 booster purchases, limit 3 per wallet, will get these sneakers for free. Also, anyone who buys a super booster, for each 25K you spend, you will get 1 free sneaker. But if you don't qualify under one of those 2 criteria for getting a free one, we will make a limited number of them available for people to purchase at $120 each. So that's really, really exciting. I cannot wait to get one of these sneakers. It's pretty cool. All right, referral link. I've talked about it multiple times now, so probably not going to repeat too much, but basically you're going to have a link, and when someone clicks that link and uses it to buy a booster, they get 5%, you get 5%, provided they are a newcomer to the ecosystem. And then come the goals. So with anything, you want to have some goals, and our primary goal for this ecosystem is to raise as much capital as we can in order to fund the ongoing development of the protocol and to provide liquidity. So we need to provide liquidity for Vitru on the exchanges. We also need to provide liquidity for the Vitro DEX token. And in order to have that happen, we need to raise capital. So the more capital we raise, the stronger a position we can be in. And so we've provided these bonuses to help incentivize folks to help us get to those levels of funding. All right. Next, I want to talk about who exactly should buy. But again, a sip of chai first. All right. So I have distilled whether you should buy boosters or not into 7 questions. All right. If you answer yes to these questions, you should consider buying boosters. Still, it's your choice, right? The first is, do you have discretionary income of at least $150? Because that's what you need in order to buy 1 booster. So if you have such discretionary income, then you should consider buying a booster. Do you agree with Vitruveo's vision of a blockchain-based creator economy? So in past downloads, I've told you about the market. I've told you about the opportunity. Right now, in Web3, it's only 11% of the entire sort of creator economy that is captured. We are talking about almost $150 billion of market still available for the taking. Do you agree with our vision and that we can capture this market? Next, do you want the project to thrive? Do you want the Vitruveo project to succeed and grow and achieve its mission? That's a good question to ask yourself. Do you want a chance of passive income for life? As I showed you earlier, there's significant rev share in perpetuity. we can't make any guarantees about anything in life, certainly not with technology, because there's so many variables. But if we do everything we said we are going to do, and if we can get the right marketing, and if we can get the right creators, we have a really, really good chance of being very successful. And this is the first blockchain with this vertical integrated ecosystem concept. Everyone else is horizontal. I believe that we are very innovative in our thinking. I believe we are very innovative in our approach to embrace traditional creators. I believe we are very innovative in how we have organized the DAO, where it's not fully decentralized, but is semi-decentralized, hence the NDAO. These are things that other people are not doing. So we are looking at what other people have done, what has worked and what hasn't worked, and we are applying all of that. And that increases our chances of success. So given that, it increases your chance of a passive income for life if you have a booster. So do you want that? Next, does the idea of a crypto project with doxed leaders, regular and honest communication, as we are doing right now, authenticity, and most importantly, tackling a real world problem that's known, not just some made up fictitious problem, do all these things appeal to you? Or would you rather, buy into a project where sort of the leaders are, just avatars, and there's a lot of sort of talk, but very little sort of face-to-face interaction, very little authenticity. And also the problem is one that could exist. We're talking about a real world problem that exists right now. Real artists right now are struggling to ever be paid, to have their profession taken seriously. And we're solving that problem. You have a team that is fully doxed, 100%. You know all our names. You see us on social media. I have made myself available consistently for the past 90 days. From the first day that I met you, I've been honest and forthright and given you the straight dope on things, right? Does that appeal to you? Do you want that, or do you want something else? Next, are you confident that the current team can lead Vitruveo to succeed based on the demonstrated leadership and results achieved in the past 90 days? So if you go by evidence, right? Like not emotion, not just made up stuff, etc. You go by evidence. What transpired in the 90 days, the level of leadership that was demonstrated, the results you have witnessed here, do those make you confident that that can be carried forward to greater success? That's a question you should be asking yourself. And last but not the least, I think you have to ask yourself, do you believe? Because, at the end of the day, a lot of decisions we make are with the gut. And I am asking you here today, do you believe? Do you believe in this team that I've presented to you that has been working very hard in the past 90 days to achieve the results that you're seeing? Do you believe in the community? You talk to other people in Discord, etc. Do you believe in the ability of this community to collaborate, work together towards a greater good, and achieve something amazing that the world has never seen before? Do you believe in that? Do you believe in our approach of creating a bridge and not being sort of this bubble of Web3 crypto jargon, but instead making a bridge to traditional creators, making a bridge to the folks who are not yet in Web3 and making it really, really easy for them to get on Web3? Do you believe in that? Do you believe that embracing and helping other people get on Web3 and making it super simple is a good thing? Do you believe that the time has come where the world needs to treat artists with respect as a profession and give them the sustainable income that other professions enjoy? Artists work just as hard, put just as much effort into creating things that transform our lives. Every one of you knows some song that sticks in your head that brings back great memories, movie quotes, artworks that evoke emotions. Why is it that the world has not shown these great creators and artists the respect it deserves? Do you believe that Vitruveo can be the blockchain that unlocks that finally? And last but not the least, do you believe the time has come for the world to start addressing its problems with art, with love and emotion? Or should we continue on the trajectory of violence, of guns, of mayhem, of killing? On social media, where people spew the worst vitriol possible, art can change that. Art can make for a kinder, gentler world. Do you believe in that world of love, of kindness, of sharing? If you do, you should consider buying a booster. That's our download for today. Thank you so much. And I'll have Zach come on here now, and we'll take some questions. Hey, Zach.
Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Hey, yeah.
How's it going?
It's going, man. I'm just I started a few comments. I was talking to some people in the Discord. Some of them came up here and got some comments in here for us. I just want a little bit more clarification. I mean, that was a lot of information, Nick. And to the last point you were saying, and I'm new, and like I've been here since the 13th, and I was the last piece of these council puzzles that you hired, and I believe in this team. I do. I think that we all have our unique skills, and have a lot of unique experiences. And I think more than anything, I think what I really like about this project is how tangible we're going to make this thing. And it's not like your normal decentralized DeFi of like, if I stake this token, I can get 2,000 APY, and it's all like Ponzonomics. We're actually trying to do like tangible things for real people, and like, creator blockchain is a great way of putting it. From an artist standpoint, like it will be so cool to be able to have galleries actually be able to sell and use Vitruveo as their back end, right? It's at the end of the day, my personal belief is that a blockchain should be no different than like a Stripe payment processor.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the rah go team fight that everyone bickers on social media about of who's going to win. It's about who does the right job and has the right application to actually do something in the real world. And I think a lot of us got introduced to this world in that closed setting of COVID where everything was digital and like all of our friends were online. And then now that the world's opened up, a lot of these projects, dog just made a weird noise. All these projects that promise the world, or they built cool technology and have 10,000 TPS or transactions per second, which is cool, but they don't do anything. Like there's no, what are they solving? And not that they won't solve something, but the world isn't ready for them, and the current industries aren't. However, what we're building and like what this vertical stack is with how we're serving a niche client of artists that are undiscovered worldwide, and what they do and how they can sell commerce in an easier way is something that can be done right now and addressed. And I think that that's the number one reason why I wanted to sign on. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to bring my A game, my connections, my people to that have had issues in this space with whether it was like digital goods and like how that all works. And like there was a lot of hiccups, and that's one of the main reasons why NFTs died, in my opinion, is it just became a saturation market of JPEGs and not enough substance. And I think we can put our heads together and put some good substance together.
All that. Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate your vote of confidence. I appreciate you coming on board. And we got to keep it real, man. I mean, the time for just talking about tech and things, etc., is done. If we are going to see Web3 and its vision of equality in the world succeed, we got to start doing real things and helping real people and bridging the
Yeah,
device.
I lived in New York last year, and I was working with a sneaker brand that was trying to do like NFT sneakers, similar to Diverge in its own way. And I would go to like all these like cool sneaker places in New York because there's a million of them, and I'd be like, try to have conversations with sneakerheads, and they would just like turn their head at me. They'd be like, that stuff's a scam, and it's like, but if we can actually show them that it can be done, and they don't even know that they're really using a blockchain, then like we're proving them wrong, and hopefully get the vote of confidence of the non-native crypto users that it's not a scam. And for technology that's supposed to be trustless, there's not a lot of trust in this industry with scamming and with the KYCing and how you really architected how this chain will work makes it so we can trust the other person on the side of a transaction. And it's really well thought out, and I like it. And the decentralized maxis are going to be like, well, it's not all decentralized, but you gotta walk before you can run, and that's kind of like what I'll leave it at. But I got some questions if you want to answer some.
All right, yeah, let's hit them and see what we got here.
All right, so we will stay with this one right here. So straight balling, how many boosters do we need to purchase to optimize our coin release pro rata?
Wow, how many boosters do we need to purchase to optimize? So the keyword there is optimize. Optimize can mean a lot. I don't have the mental acuity to do that math.
He asked it in the
on
Discord,
the fly.
like,
but it's a great question. It's a great question to do a what if kind of. So let's. I'm gonna make a note of that and answer it later in Discord. So thank you, Straight Ballin, for that question. I'm sorry I can't answer it live, but
I'll tag you his username for you, so you can make sure to tag him in it.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
All right. So we got Bob does. I don't know. I see you in Discord. You can yell at me about how I butchered that. What happens when the boosters expire? I think that's we talked about this earlier. Just to nail the head in the coffin, just put it out there. It just becomes artwork, correct?
Well, so no, because if it's not, so here's the deal, right? The booster is a voucher. So if someone gives you a voucher and has an expiration date and you don't use the voucher, what is the voucher good for after the expiration date? Nothing. So after 18 months, that booster is useless. Why 18 months? It corresponds exactly to the vesting period that it's intended to accelerate, right? If the intention of the boost is to accelerate the vesting period, how can it be used after the vesting period has elapsed? So I think you're right in that what we'll do is essentially have it auto convert into an artwork at that point, but you have to boost with it. I cannot imagine why 18 months from now there would be a booster that hasn't been used. I would need to understand the use case for it.
Sure. And maybe he's super active in Discord. Maybe I can get some more.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, just tell me the use case, and maybe we are still working on the architecture of the Nexus NFT. So maybe we've missed something very obvious, and we're happy to address that.
Is SafePal supported for booster sales? So I guess that's a wallet question, I believe. So
yeah, is that like a browser website thing that tells you this is an unsafe website? I think when you're trying to do a transaction, I'll have to check on that. I'll make sure that
I'm gonna do a quick Google right now. SafePal. It's a crypto hardware wallet.
Oh,
yes.
Well, we don't. We use Wallet Connect, and use any wallet that's supported. So I'll have to check on SafePal.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of that brand. Obviously, I know Ledger. That's the most trusted that I know of. But AA, if you want to leave another comment, if you're listening still about that, I can maybe do a follow up. But we're going to move on to the next question. Razmataz, Nick, what will RevShare be paid in? Right.
So this is a good question. The first thing I'd like to say is, like, of all these perks and RevShare, etc., it's not like a payment that goes out. Instead, it's sitting there, and you have to essentially claim it when you want. So you can claim it anytime you want. Everything is Vitru. That everything is in the cryptocurrency, the native cryptocurrency of this blockchain.
Cool. Let's see. Here we go. Here's another one. Very optimistic. I like where this guy's head is. If all regular boosters sell out, can a super booster be converted to a regular booster to purchase?
So if all the regular boosters are sold out, that means we have captured $3 million in capital. That gets us enough to do the things we need to. So I would be averse to increasing the 20K limit, because when you buy a booster, you do it with the knowledge that there are only 20,000 of them. If we change it after the fact, that's actually going back on the contract. And so I would say, no, we are unlikely to do that. We would want to. Now, one of the things that we'd encourage people to do independently is you can create a consortium. This is how a lot of DAOs, etc., work, right? They fractionalize things. So if there's some artwork that is too expensive for one person to buy, well, just get people together, get a multi-sig, and put your money together and buy a super booster, right? So
I think another word for that would be a syndicate, right? A syndicate?
Syndicate, yeah. Syndication, yep, exactly. Yeah. So that would be an approach to take. There's nothing that says that wouldn't work. The syndicate would have to have rules, and in order to be able to trustlessly enforce that. But the thing is, we cannot increase that number after the fact, simply because that would be going back on the promise, or the implied promise, if you will, to the people who bought those first 20K boosters. I love that optimistic thinking. That's amazing.
I like the
but I'm gonna sort of stay true to our commitment there, and it's gonna stay at 20K and not be increased.
Oh, wrong one. All right, from our boy Busy. Will validators receive both a validator NFT and a Nexus NFT to be able to boost the rebase's 2K plus coins?
So the boosting works for the Nexus NFT. The validator NFT, the purpose of it is to give you sort of the reward for being a validator, etc.
Rev share.
So yeah, so unfortunately that scenario will not work. Will not be supported. It's Nexus NFT and Maxim NFT. Those are the ones boosting.
Let's see what else we got. We got Sky High. Nick, are we going to be using Spritz Finance so we can off-ramp tokens for cash when it comes time?
I'm unfamiliar with Spritz Finance, but I'll tell you what we are doing. We are in talks right now with several exchanges, assuming that we are going to have liquidity. So we will get our Vitru token listed on, starting off with one exchange and then more in the new year. The intent there is to have the exchange be your fiat on and off ramp, and to be able to trade there. But I'll make a note of Spritz Finance. I love some of these DAO questions, the download questions, because I learn new things. So I'm going to go check out Spritz Finance. Maybe it's something we do need to.
I've seen their services. They're definitely on Binance Chain. Probably Ethereum as well, but they have like a crypto credit card that they have, but it's an off ramp. I wouldn't say it's like Circle because they don't have a stable coin, but it's a service sort of like that. Yeah, pretty good. Superfluid Finance is another one that I would love to.
Yeah, so all these services, we basically have to. That's going to be your role, right? We're going to be talking with
well aware.
To get them on our chain. So so there you go, Zach. There's your assignment. Get Spritz Finance working.
Well,
please.
that's why I highlighted it. That's one of the reasons why I highlighted it. So, yeah, we got to figure out what the best off ramping mechanism is going to be.
It can be one thing because there's many people in different jurisdictions, right?
True. No, absolutely.
So, we need more. We need all of them.
And then I think we have one more question. I have some more comments that I have to look through because I'm just looking at the start ones. Right. We have, if you buy 7 boosters to be eligible for the 5% pool and decide to sell one of those 7 boosters later, are you taken out of the early boosters 5% pool? Appreciate the hard work.
No. We make the decision based on the transaction. So
cool.
You can do whatever you want with them.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let me look to see if we got any more good ones here. Okay, so we got some follow-up for the SafePal. What I meant is on Wallet Connect. SafePal is a very popular hardware wallet, and sometimes it's not supported. SafePal is used by many in our community. And then Razmataz said, Zach, SafePal will be slow to use hard wallet if you want to get quick and receive extra bonuses. So it looks like we need to look into, or I need to look into, SafePal and talk to Prabhu about that and make sure that that's not going to be an issue. And if it is, we will.
I'm gonna take this one question I see here by Rich, which I think a lot of people might have, which I want to address. So buying 7 boosters, we get 5% total. You get pro rata of the 5%. Buying more boosters, does our market share percentage go up over that 5? Yes. So you basically, the way that it's calculated is exactly using that formula. So of the first 1,000 people, we're gonna add up all the booster Vitrus that they're owed. So just because it's 1,000 transactions doesn't mean that it's only going to be 700 multiplied by 1,000, which is 700,000. Is my math right? 7. Each one is minimum 700 Vitrus each, so that's 700 Vitrus, 1,000, 700,000. Yeah. So it's not going to be just 700,000, right? Because some people might buy more than 7. In that case, that total aggregate number is going to be probably somewhere closer to double that, right? So you divide your 700 by that number, you get a percentage, and that's what your share is of that 5%. And it's forever. So that's basically what it is. That's a good question.
I really like this comment. I think they called you the Deion Sanders of crypto. I like that. I think that's pretty funny. And
thank you.
Love Deion. And let's see. And then Joseph asked about the backer situation. I saw you last week and I told you to check the channel. I will get with you personally as soon as the stream is over and make sure you get the information you're looking for. And I think that is it. I mean, we got a cheers and I think
I see one here that I'd like to tack.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. Can you explain the merge process in detail? All right. So basically what we are trying to do here is address the need that some people have said, hey, I want to be able to merge my 3 or 4 wallet balances into one so I can boost them all one. So the merge process is basically you going to in the UI, I'm just describing the UI that we are thinking of, is you connecting your wallet to a page, and it will have we'll look up the database. Well, actually, at that time, sorry, we'll look up on-chain and say how many Vitru are due to you, and you can transfer those Vitru, whatever the intended number of Vitru, to another wallet address. So that's basically the merge process. So at the end of it, there's going to be some wallets that you leave there with 0 Vitru on them, so they are not going to get a Nexus NFT drop to them. So it's really that simple. It's the ability for you to take the tokens in each wallet that you have signing rights to, meaning the private key, and transferring those to another address. I have to think a little bit about if we want the ability to transfer those Vitru to a brand new wallet. I'm going to say the answer on that is likely going to be no, because it needs to be within the set that's already there. But if we cannot detect any mechanism that will allow that to be gamed in some way, then we'll allow it. But right now, it's unlikely that you can transfer it to some arbitrary wallet. It's got to be one of the wallets that are already in the list. So that's essentially what merging is about. Like if you have, say, 3 or 4 addresses in that spreadsheet that we have, go to each one and transfer it all to one. And that way it's consolidated and it's done. So hopefully that was helpful.
I got another one here that just came in. I think this would be a pretty easy one. Nick, can you explain if my former Vulcan to buy 7 boosters?
Well, I mean, it's pretty. I'll go back to this slide here.
They might have just joined.
This is it. This is all that's supported. Yep. Nothing else. The answer to everything else is no.
And I think this I know we don't like to do speculation, but I think this is a kind of fun one. Is our goal to make this a top 10 blockchain in 2 or 5 years? And my comment, I'll start. There's no way of telling, obviously. I don't know. I have some personal markers of other chains out there that I would like to be better than. But when it comes to marketplace or market cap, excuse me, I have no idea. But people who I want to come for are like the Tezos of the world, Flow. That's my personal goal, is to be more functional and have a better user base than them. And you can compare to see where they're at and make your best judgment. But to say that we're going to be a top 10 or a top 5, or that, I mean, I don't foresee us rivaling the legacy tech that is Ethereum, but I would love to get a good piece of this market share and do a thing really, really well. So, Nick, if you want to make comments on that, that's my.
So I think there's multiple ways in which you can look at what's a top 10, right? So the first one is impact. I believe from an impact perspective, we are going to be right up there very soon, like probably, yes, easily within the first 2 years, because of the scope of the people we are going to impact. I would hope that a lot of creators, as we do our onboarding, do our outreach, etc., recognize the value of this, and we'll do that. So in terms of market cap, right? So we have a coin that is rebasing. So in 2 years, that would be 2 to 3 years. It'll be what, 120, 130, etc. So you got to figure out what price it would need to be to crack the top 10. Of course, the top 10 is an ever-changing list. So let's put it this way: our goal is to be in the top 10. I don't know how many years it's going to take to do that, but we definitely are not content with sitting back and saying, "Oh yeah, this can be a top 100 blockchain." No, sir. We want it to be top 10. We're going to work for that.
Sweet. I agree. I think the impact is something that I could have conveyed a little bit better in my statement. But yeah, that's kind of what I said earlier when we first started up these questions, is like the impact or the actual usability of what we're creating is going to be very impactful. We're a little late to the game compared to everyone else, but it doesn't mean we can't catch up.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a bunch of comments and questions there about essentially being able to have a lot of flexibility around merging and getting these situations where their wallet's been compromised, etc. I'll tell you what, we are working on the architecture of that application. I will commit that on next Friday's download, I will present that scenario on how exactly we're going to allow that. And I am hearing what people are saying. I'll make sure that it's as flexible as possible, but also as secure as possible. So I don't want to create scenarios where scammers, etc., come and wreak havoc on there. So we'll address all those use cases where your wallet's been compromised, and so you want a different one. Also, you have validator nodes and you have holdings. What do you want to do with those tokens, etc.? So understand that, and we'll make that happen. I think that's it. Yeah.
I think so. And
there's always going to be more questions.
Of course, they're always going to drag in. You can always tag me or any of the other moderators in the questions channel in Discord. And due to the ecosystem slide, or from the ecosystem slide, the point was we're introducing a new moderation system, which is going to help everyone involved from the top to the bottom communicate and be able to flag your questions so we can get them answered. So that's my number one priority when joining Vitruveo, was to get our comms up, make sure everyone can communicate and feel like they're heard. And you'll start seeing that. And then also look forward to a community town hall with me and probably some of the community team in Discord. Probably we'll do either a stage or a voice chat, and we can just chit chat. So look forward to that. Nick, wrap it up. We're out of here.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you again next week. And look forward to this booster sale, and look forward to continuing our trajectory here. Mainnet is live. We have Mainnet Rc1 live, and thank you for your patience, but we are here. So enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.